The most wanted man in the Middle East, the supreme leader of Iran, moments away from being vaporized. Israel had him in the crosshairs. Their jets were in the air. Their intelligence teams had confirmed the target. All they needed was the green light from America. And that's when it happened, guys. President Donald J. Trump, now back in full command as the 47th president of the United States, he went ahead and stepped in. And he said one thing: stand down. And the world shocked. The media scrambling. Critics said, is Trump going soft? But they weren't paying attention because just hours later, President Trump did something nobody expected. When he showed strategic restraint abroad, he declared war, total war at home. ICE agents deployed into every major sanctuary city. Raids launched. Illegal immigrants detained in neighborhoods that they thought were off limits. Guys, we're talking about cities like New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, near ground zero in Trump's second-term integration blitz. Protesters, they tried to stop it. Leftist activists, they flooded the streets with "No King" signs. We all saw it. But President Trump, he did not blink. In fact, he posted, "We must expand efforts to detain and deport illegal aliens. Every resource, every city." And now, the same media that panicked over the Iran veto is losing its ever-loving mind over the ICE mobilization. And here's the twist that the media won't show you. Even New York's Democrat Mayor Eric Adams is now backing ICE enforcement. Guys, 79% of New York voters, Democrats, support deportation for illegal immigrants who commit crimes. And behind the scenes, Trump's already warning Tehran, if you keep enriching uranium, next time I won't say no. So this isn't hesitation. This is multi-theater warfare. One part diplomacy, one part deterrence, and one part absolute law and order. So in today's video, guys, I want to go ahead and pull back this curtain on the whole strategy, the timing, the mission, and you're going to learn why President Trump blocked the kill shot on Iran's supreme leader and what this actually means for the region, how President Biden's era or former President Biden era immigration chaos is being reversed block by block, raid by raid, why even Democrat strongholds are turning toward President Trump's America First doctrine, and how this two-pronged offensive, foreign and domestic, is sending one clear message: the war is on. But this time, President Trump is not taking prisoners. So stick with me, guys, because this isn't just news. This is political reckoning. And if you're watching this, you're already part of it. By the way, if you appreciate the daily news updates, please click the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for your support, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake, this was a kill shot that almost happened. According to top U.S. intelligence officials, the Israeli military had the operation ready. The supreme leader of Iran targeted. The mission confirmed. The logistics green lit. Guys, crosshairs were locked in, okay? We're talking about an active assassination mission, not speculation, not theory. Israeli special forces, likely with Mossad and air assets on standby, they were preparing for one of the most boldest strategic strikes in modern history. But just before it went live, President Donald J. Trump stepped in and shut it down. His message: let this be a sign. Make a deal before it's too late. Now think about that, guys. While the media screams about President Trump being a warmonger, here he is restraining Israel, right? Stopping a strike that could have triggered global retaliation within a matter of hours, but didn't get it twisted. Guys, do not get this twisted whatsoever. This wasn't about being soft. I don't even want to hear that. Trump wasn't being soft. This was President Trump sending a different kind of message, one of dominance through restraint. And here's a twist. As Iran breathes a sigh of relief, thinking they've dodged a bullet, President Trump pivots and unleashes something else entirely. Not across the sea, but right here in the homeland. ICE agents, sanctuary cities, massive raids. The second front is about to open, and it's not overseas. Because in just a minute, I want to dive into why President Trump said no to assassination, but yes to domestic raids, and how that decision isn't weakness. It's one of the most strategic power moves that we've seen in modern geopolitics. So, guys, there is a secret that tens of thousands of people are discovering right now. And it's saving them some serious money on Medicare. Guys, that secret is Chapter. Marianne Comney, she said Chapter is fantastic. My guy Vance is a hero in my eyes. Oh, let's not forget about Ed. Ed is 84 years young, told us this. He said, I'm saving $684 a year. Huge savings for a senior like me on a fixed income. Guys, these stories are not rare. They're happening every day. People are switching plans, they're reducing their monthly bills, and they're getting better coverage at the same time. Wait, better coverage and saving money? Oh, sign me up twice, right? So guys, this is because Chapter compares every plan, not just a few. They take the time to ask the right questions, to understand your unique needs, and to make sure nothing is missed. So whether it's your doctor, it's your meds, your budget, give our friends at Chapter a call right now and see what they can do for you. Phone number is 909-563-8279 or visit askchapter.org/Ron. Now, if nobody told you yet about Chapter, please consider this to be your lucky break. I can't wait to hear the good news from you guys. Oh, and anybody who happens to save money on Chapter, drop me a comment on this video. I cannot wait to celebrate the good news with you guys. So now, I know some of you guys are thinking, I know what y'all are thinking, to be honest with you guys. Why would Trump do this, right? Or more importantly, why would Trump stop this, right? Why bother sparing the head of the world's most aggressive terror regime that, this guy is like funding proxies in Lebanon and Syria and Gaza. Why would you want to stop that person from being eliminated, right? Well, here's why, okay? And I saw your comments. I saw your questions on the previous video, and I'm going to answer the question, okay? This was not a surrender. It was a calculation because President Trump, he's playing the long game. Think 4D chess, shall we, right? He's not thinking in hours or headlines. He's thinking in outcomes. He knows what the neocons don't know. One dead supreme leader, that's not peace. That's a power vacuum, a regional firestorm, and possibly World War III with Russia and China waiting in the wings. So Trump didn't block the strike because he's afraid. He blocked it because he's got something bigger in mind, a deal in terms of, basically, he's got a deal on his mind, right? At the end of the day, Trump is a businessman, real estate investor, art of the deal, right? Okay, right? Think about this, right? So he's got bigger plans. He's got bigger things on his mind. He's got a deal on his terms with leverage that nobody else ever had. And let's be crystal clear here. This is not Obama-style diplomacy. There's no pallets of cash waiting in the wings, no secret nuclear deals, no bowing to Ayatollahs. Guys, Trump is offering peace from a position of strength, right? And you can kind of feel it in every word of his latest Truth Social post. Peace will happen soon. I do a lot. Never get credit. Anybody agree with that? President Trump does a lot, never gets the credit? Let me know in the comments, guys. He is throwing the bait out there. Iran's regime. They now know that they've been spared for now, right? But if they take one wrong step, if uranium enrichment continues at Fordow or Natanz, the next order from the White House won't be to veto. It's going to be a green light. And while Iran figures out whether or not to fold or to fight, President Trump is already moving his second piece on the chessboard. He didn't press the trigger in Tehran, but he launched a crackdown right here in America, guys. So that's really what I want to talk to you guys about right now. I want to break down what we're seeing as being President Trump's broader Iran strategy and how Putin, pressure, and patience all factor into what happens next. Guys, you're not going to want to miss this because the next strike might not get blocked. Folks, listen up, okay? Here's where the 4D chess gets wild. President Trump isn't just dangling a deal. He's actually tightened a noose with every option still on the table. Maximum pressure 2.0, sanctions snap up, oil exports hammered, Iranian banks grasping for dollars. Every day, Tehran's economy bleeds. The mullahs wonder if that blocked strike was their last warning. Putin, as the unlikely middleman, yes, you heard that right. President Trump hints that Vladimir Putin could theoretically, possibly broker the ceasefire deal. Why? Because if Russia carries the message, Iran has to listen. While Trump keeps U.S. jets fueled and ready to go, it's called leverage, and nobody plays it like Mr. Number 45, or I should say number 47, right? Right? So the other thing is you got to look at the zero enrichment ultimatum. Trump's red line isn't some vague diplomacy. It's math, basic math, really. Zero means zero. Shut it down or face the music. Fordow, Natanz, Arik, any centrifuge that so much as spins puts those bunker busters one step closer to launch, right? And while the regime sweats, President Trump's Truth Social feed drips with confidence. He said, "We will have peace soon. Middle East greatness is coming." Wow. Translation, guys, for those who didn't catch on. Deals on my terms or watch the sky light up. Now, we've already seen the sky light up, but he's saying, watch it really light up. But can Israel finally finish the job alone if Iran calls his bluff? So this brings us to the next bombshell, guys. Israel's courage is unquestioned, but physics is physics. Fordow fortress, dug into a mountain hundreds of feet deep, right? Regular J dams, they're worthless. Even Israel's top line F-35I ADARs, they can't crack the concrete shell. No heavy bombers. Israel lacks the B-2 Spirits or the B-52s to carry the 30,000-pound massive ordnance penetrator. So guess who does have them warming on Gulf runways? Well, of course, the United States Air Force does, under President Trump's direct command. The Trump umbrella. You got Netanyahu, Benjamin Netanyahu, he knows it. Tehran fears it. World leaders, they whispered about it at the G7 dinners. And without U.S. bunker busters, a knockout punch is impossible. Now, with them, new phone calls, they turn Fordow. Guys, look at it like this. One freaking phone call turns Fordow into a radioactive rumble. And President Trump just made it very clear. If Iran stalls, America finishes what Israel starts. Now, of course, we need to pivot just for a second from foreign firestorms to the domestic battleground. Sanctuary cities thought they were safe right up until ICE hit the streets and left-wing mayors started choosing sides here. So while foreign enemies were watching Trump with caution, the war at home erupted in the streets. Left-wing protesters, emboldened by years of weak leadership, they took to the streets again under the banner of the No Kings movement. They weren't marching for peace. They were marching for they were marching to essentially attempt to shield illegal immigrants, some with felony warrants, from lawful arrest. Their mission? Block ICE vans, jam up deportation operations, storm federal field offices, and they meant business. There were flash mobs in Portland, sit-ins in Chicago, and in New York City, protesters physically blocked roads and entrances to shelters where ICE was rumored to be operating. So this wasn't some civil disobedience. This was deliberate obstruction of federal law. And yet, just like in 2020, mainstream media tried to spin it as being peaceful. But Americans saw the truth. Parents couldn't get to work. Emergency responders were delayed, and ICE agents were being harassed and filmed for doing their jobs. You want chaos? That's what it looks like. But unlike previous administrations that apologized for backing down, President Trump hit back hard. Now, within 24 hours of the first coordinated protest, President Trump issued a directive that sent shockwaves through every sanctuary city in America. We must expand efforts to detain and deport illegal aliens, he posted. Every resource, every department, every agency activated. This wasn't rhetoric. It was mobilization. ICE field offices received full operational clearance to resume wide-scope raids. DOJ coordinated with DHS to prosecute obstructionists under federal statutes and sanctuary city protections. Okay, President Trump ordered them totally ignored. Okay, so this is the largest immigration enforcement operation since 2019, and it's still growing, by the way. Cities that defied federal immigration law for years, like San Francisco, like Chicago. Let's not forget about New York City. They were now ground zero for this federal crackdown. And here's the kicker. This isn't just about border jumpers. President Trump's order expanded the net. Visa overstays, repeat criminal offenders, sanctuary shielded fugitives. They're all back on the list, guys. ICE is now operating like a federal SWAT unit, precise, strategic, and no longer restrained by left-wing governors. And the reaction? It's not what you think. Now, of course, we need to talk about New York City as the battleground. I want to break down how every Democrat mayor they're essentially siding with Trump and with, well, okay, maybe not every, maybe I went a little bit too far. Let's just say some Democrat mayors are actually siding with Trump. Why Eric Adams is now publicly defending ICE raids. So let's go ahead and zero in on this epicenter of the domestic crackdown. New York City, guys. So for years, NYC was the poster child for sanctuary city defiance, where illegal immigrants could break the law, even get arrested, and even, guys, these folks were walking free before ICE even knew their name. But now, Trump's ICE raids are inside the city limits. And guess who is not stopping them? Mayor Eric Adams of New York City. That's right. The Democratic mayor of New York is now working with ICE, not against it. In a stunning reversal, Adams confirmed that federal immigration authorities would not be impeded. So no more hiding behind sanctuary slogans, no more pretending that criminal behavior is protected under the banner of compassion. And how did Adams pull it off? Well, he used drone surveillance to monitor protests. He deployed law enforcement to identify outside agitators. He made 14 strategic arrests, no injuries, no chaos, and full coordination with federal agencies. But here is the key. Adams didn't just allow ICE to operate. He defended it. He publicly stated that people blocking roads, blocking trucks, or stopping parents from going to work would be removed. That's not the voice of the radical left. That's the sound of a man backed into a political corner doing whatever it takes to survive. And the backlash? Well, that leads us right up into why President Trump was busy taking action and why Eric Adams of New York was busy enforcing order. The Democratic Party? Well, let's just say that they were busy tearing themselves apart. AOC took to the stage at rallies to rip into Andrew Cuomo, calling him part of the, journocracy? So she accused this man of hijacking the race and being a relic of failed leadership. And what Eric Adams did in response, guys, Eric Adams dropped the absolute bombshell. He didn't leave the party, I'll tell you that. The party left me. So this is what he's saying. I just want to go ahead and quote Eric Adams. He said, "I didn't leave the party. The party left me and working class people." Wow. How many times have we heard something similar, right? I mean, just look at Tulsi Gabbard. Look at John Fetterman. Look at Robert F. Kennedy Jr., though technically he was like an independent, but he kind of leaned toward the Democrats. But you get my point, right? He exposed the truth that has been boiling beneath the surface for years. Democrats in New York City, NYC, don't want criminals. They want them deported. Okay? But their own voters do. 79% of New Yorkers, according to internal polling, agree that if an undocumented immigrant commits a crime and serves their time, they should be deported. Now think about that, guys, right? Even in the bluest city in America, voters are more aligned with Trump than with AOC or even the DSA crowd. Mayor Eric Adams knows it, and he's adjusting fast. Meanwhile, Democrats like Andrew Cuomo are trying to rewrite history, blaming Trump for border chaos they helped to create. It's civil war inside the party. And President Trump, he's just watching it burn while ICE clears the streets. So, I also want to show you guys how President Trump's twin strikes abroad and at home are setting the stage for a full-scale political reset. So, at this point, even Trump's harshest critics are starting to realize this isn't chaos, it's coordination. So while the legacy media frames Trump's vetoes of the Iran strike as a missed opportunity, the truth is it was a masterclass in timing. Abroad, he showed strategic restraint. He didn't take the shot. He didn't unleash a war that the globalists could exploit. He preserved America's image and he put Iran on notice. We spared your supreme leader. That was your warning. So guys, at the same time, at home, he showed the exact opposite, uncompromising force. This is what the old establishment could never do. They would go soft on enemies overseas and handcuff law enforcement here in America. Trump went ahead and flipped that playbook around. He told Tehran, look, make a deal or else. He told sanctuary cities, look, guys, time's up. ICE is coming. That is peace through strength, not just internationally, but also in our own streets. No troops got deployed, no endless wars, but the pressure clearly relentless. And the signal, it's loud and clear. He doesn't need boots on the ground in Iran. He's got ICE boots hitting the pavement in Brooklyn, San Francisco, and Chicago. And so now the gloves are off. There are no more excuses, guys. Under the Biden administration, ICE got neutered, right? Agents were told to stand down. Raids were limited to priority targets, and entire cities were turned into fugitive-friendly zones. But those days are gone. Not anymore, guys. Under Trump's new directive, no more narrow targets, no more bureaucratic hesitation and BS. This isn't about violent felons or gang members. This is a full sweep operation, and it includes visa overstays, people who came illegally but never left, repeat criminal offenders, those protected by local governments from prior deportations, fugitives hiding in sanctuary zones who have ultimately evaded the federal warrants for years. I think it's clear. ICE has been unleashed, and this time they are not coming alone. They're backed by the Department of Justice, Homeland Security, and a commander-in-chief who is not interested in apologies. Trump has said it plainly. If you're in this country illegally, and especially if you've broken more laws while you're here, oh, your time is up. No more sanctuary cities, no more activist judges blocking deportation orders, and we're just seeing action now. And it's all building towards something even bigger, guys. Will Trump strike Iran next? And what does this ICE crackdown really mean for the future of America? So I want to go back to the one place that started it all, Fordow, the underground Iranian nuclear facility buried deep inside inside of a mountain, actually, fortified with concrete, surrounded by anti-air defenses. This is the place that Israel can't touch. The place only one nation on earth can destroy. And now, according to U.S. military sources, B-2 stealth bombers are on alert. The bunker-busting bombs loaded and ready. Strike teams are in range. President Trump has not ordered the hit yet. But let's be clear, guys. He left the door wide the heck open. If enrichment continues, we will finish what Israel started. We gave them a chance, and if they refuse, we will respond. So I want you to understand, guys, this is President Trump's final warning to Iran. Deal or detonation. He's letting them he's letting them choose. He's saying, look, you either surrender or you survive. Your call, or resist and get turned into ash. But here's the twist. This isn't just a message to Iran. This is a message to every American watching, every governor, every activist, every mayor hiding behind the word sanctuary, right? Every globalist who thought that the Trump era was over. I want to tell you guys something. It's not over. It just restarted stronger than ever. Because here's what President Trump understands better than anybody. Whether it's the supreme leader in Tehran or a visa jumper in Times Square, if you break U.S. law, you're on notice. There's no distinction between foreign chaos and domestic lawlessness. One weak link endangers the entire nation. So this is why Trump's foreign policy is hard power and his domestic policy is zero mercy. ICE raids and Iran vetoes aren't separate stories. They're two sides of the same coin. America first, peace through strength, and war if it comes on Trump's terms. No boots on the ground, No apologies, no pretending. He means war. So what do you guys think? Was Trump right to block the Iran strike? Should he go further if Iran pushes the limits again? And how do you feel about ICE finally being unleashed in the very cities that protected lawbreakers for years? Let me know in the comments, guys. I read every single one of them. Also, if you're tired of getting lied to, if you're proud of what real leadership actually looks like, hit the like button, subscribe, and share this video with someone who finally actually still thinks that Biden is in charge, right? The truth is simple here, guys. President Trump is back. He's not backing down, and the war just began. So I'll see you guys next time. Y'all be safe.